swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. Officer, we are having some audio issues, so I'm going to ask you to move your body forward as close to the microphone as possible so that you can project and everybody can hear you. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for our court reporter?
Sure. I'm Anthony Der Enzo. It's spelled A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, and my last name is D''R-I-E-N-Z-O.
How are you employed, sir?
Gwinnett County Police Department.
What do you do for them?
Currently, I'm assigned to the computer forensics lab.
How long have you been doing that?
Over 4 years.
What training and qualifications do you have that allows you to hold that position?
I'm certified through a company called Celebrate. Celebrate's one of the biggest forensic companies when dealing with cell phone forensics. They've been around since cell phones kind of first became a thing. So you want me to explain a little bit about Celebrate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You probably at some point in the past had an old phone, and then you got a new phone, and you had to move your contacts and everything over. It's easier now than it was back then. So if you went to Verizon or Sprint, AT&T, whoever it was, they'd take your old phone, usually bring it in the back, and then they'd have your new phone, and they'd hook it up to a Celebrate device. And that company made the technology to move the data, to migrate your data over and make it a whole lot easier for you. So as time's progressed, they've continued learning cell phones, and they're able to do forensics, and they have the tools that we use in our lab that help us process data. So in 2019, I went to Celebrate training and have 2 certifications through that company. One is a CCO, which is a Celebrate Certified Operator, and the second is a CCPA, a Celebrate Certified Physical Analyst.
So in order to get certified by them, you have to undergo a certain amount of testing?
They test you at the end of the training, and then every 2 years you have to go for continued training. So that's since 2019 I've maintained my certifications through them.
Were you certified on Celebrate in July?
Yes, I was.
Sir, how many cell phone extractions have you done?
In a little over 4 years, I've done over 700.
Have you ever testified as an expert on cell phone extractions and physical forensics?
I have.
Your Honor, this time the tender Officer is here as an expert in cell phone extractions and physical
Officers, you are qualified as an expert.
So you talked about cell phone extractions. Could you walk the jury through exactly what a cell phone extraction is?
Sure. Cell phone extractions, sometimes they're called cell phone dumps or downloads. When we get a cell phone in our lab, that cell phone has to be hooked up to technology that can read the contents of it. So we have various tools in our lab that we hook phones up to, that tool can then read the contents of the phone and then copy that data off. Once you get the data off, it's in a raw format. Computers are digital, so it's code that's not really useful for humans. So you have to take that code and then run it through that physical analyzer program. That's through Celebrate. So when you have the raw data, you load it in the computer using that software. The software will then take that raw data, read it, and interpret it, and then give me the ability to generate a report that is useful for an investigation.
Did you actually do that as it relates to phones in this case?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to ask you, you have 4 cell phones sitting in front of you, and I'd like to walk through each one. And let's go your left to right. So the one on the left, do you recognize that phone, sir?
I do.
How do you recognize that phone?
This is item. So we, at the police department, we have evidence software that we use. It's called SAFE. And then when evidence comes in, it gets assigned item numbers. So I work off of item numbers when things come into me. So this was the phone that I downloaded.
When you say download, are there different things? I've heard terms like before first unlock. Can you walk us through what exactly that means?
Sure.
When the phone comes to you, what steps you take in regarding to everything like that?
Yeah. The easiest way to describe this is when a cell phone comes into us, the state that it comes into us matters. If the phone is off, we can get a limited amount of data when we turn it on. If the phone is on, but I don't know the passcode, the technology we use can still get almost all the data off the phone without ever knowing the code. That's if that phone came to us and it was on. If a cell phone comes in and the passcode is known, we can get usually the full contents of the phone off of it because it's pretty much wide open at that point. It's not locked down. So with a BFU extraction, that just means before first unlock. So that would be a phone that came in that was off or had been powered down prior to us getting it. So when I turn it on and I don't have the passcode, I get a very small amount of data. That's a BFU.
Is there another type of extraction?
There is. There's a after first unlock or an AFU. That's where that phone comes into me and it's on, but I don't know the passcode. We can get a lot of data off those phones. And then the other type is a full file system. That would be a phone that came in. It could be on or off. It doesn't matter. We either know the code or there is no code on the phone. So if that comes into us like that, we can get what is known as a full file system.
So before I get to the phones in question, when I got my iPhone years ago, I had to set up an account, had to type in my name. Is that kind of information that someone can pull off the phone without anything?
It can, yes. Cellbrite can, or tools like Magnet's Gray Key, we use that in our lab. That can also do it.
Does every cell phone have a unique identifying number?
It will.
Almost like a fingerprint cell phone?
Yes.
What are those numbers called?
It's called an IMEI number. It's an International Mobile Equipment Identifier. That's what IMEI stands for.
So any two cell phones have the same IMEI number?
No, they will not.
So they're unique to the
Yes, sir.
Does that come in useful in investigation?
Yes.
How?
Well, it helps me identify a phone, so I know this phone will be different from this one. For instance, Apple, they actually, on some of their models, began etching the IMEI number in the SIM tray. So if you pop the SIM, there's a little tray on the side. You may have seen it. Some of the newer phones have gone to an electronic SIM card, so there's no physical little card anymore. It's electronic. But on some of the older phones, when you eject that SIM tray that holds the SIM card in it, it's actually etched in there. It's very, very hard to see it, but it's actually there.
So, in particular, like my cell phone, if I'm driving down the road and I connect to a cell tower, will it identify my particular cell phone as the IMEI?
It will know, yeah, because that's how your cell phone's on the network is through your IMEI or through the SIM. Yeah.
Let's go to the phones in question. We'll go left to right. I believe states 36 is the number of phones. Is that right?
On the right, my right, is 37.
Yeah, we'll go with 37.
Okay.
Did you examine 37?
Yes, I did.
Now, it says states exhibit 37, but there's a TCPD item number. What's that item number?
68.
And as it relates to the examinations of these phones, did you prepare a report?
Yes, I did.
Would refer to that report help you in your testimony?
Yes.
If you have it with you, feel free to pull it.
Okay.
Let's talk about the cell phone that's been previously identified as states exhibit 37. Tell us about that phone.
Okay, so this States Exhibit 37 is item number 68. This was submitted by Detective Harrison to our lab. I was assigned to this case. It came under, would you like me to give the search warrant number?
Sure.
Okay. It's 22X01034. I examined this phone, and this was a phone that came in that was powered on, but I didn't know the code, so I got that AFU extraction. Okay.
Which is after first unlock.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's correct. So when I get the data off, it comes in a zip format, which again is it's not going to do anybody any good. It has to be processed. So that data goes into Cellbrite's physical analyzer, where it parses through all that data, and then I'm able to generate a report, which is what I did. Those reports are UFDR reports, or more commonly known as Cellbrite reader files.
Okay. States 37, was there a particular cell phone number identified with States 37?
Yeah, the phone number is 470-886-5190.
And was a particular person identified with that phone?
Yeah, the owner name says Jiah Huy.
Okay, now when you say the owner name, was that derived from the phone itself or because somebody just put a sticker on it?
So there's a device name, which when you set up a phone through Apple, you can name it whatever you want. But there's other account information and things like that that have to be put in for you to have an Apple phone connect to iCloud.
So I want to be clear, when we're talking about Jiah Huy, you said device name, is that something that the original owner set up at that point?
Yeah, for device name, it says LUHJ5. So you can put in whatever you want for a device name.
Gotcha. And that number was again 470-886-5190?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you did a AFU extraction on that phone?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And let's go to the next phone. I believe it's, there you go. What state exhibit are you holding?
52.
52. So are we able to do a BFU and AFU?
Okay, this one. This was a BFU extraction before
so
first unlock.
were you able to pull off a cell phone number and a name associated with States 52?
Yes. The cell phone number for that one is 470-342-9346.
Okay. Was a name associated with that one?
Owner's name is David Booker.
Did that come out of the phone?
Yes.
Next phone, sir.
States Exhibit 66.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
States Exhibit 66 was a number derived from that phone according to your examination.
Okay, so this one would not boot up. When I turn this phone on, the Apple logo comes on and then goes off and just constantly was stuck in this boot loop it's often referred to. So I was not able to extract anything from this data, from this phone. It also did not contain a SIM card, so I couldn't do an extraction for a SIM either.
Now, even though a phone is not able to have any information extracted, if it's out on the road, can it still send cell site location information?
If it has a connection, yes, it can.
Okay, let's go to the next phone.
States Exhibit 67.
Yes, sir. The phone number associated with State 67?
Okay. That phone number is 470-839-1041.
And the name associated with that phone?
Jiah Pledger.
When you did the extractions, did you download it into a file? Did you download that file?
Yes.
I'm going to show you States Exhibit 82. Is that zip drive containing the cell phone extractions you did?
Yes, sir, it is.
Judge, we tender States Exhibit 82 at this time. Correct. Thank you.
Mr. Clerk. Mr. Melvin has tendered cell phone extraction zip drive States Exhibit 82 with having all four of these downloads on it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes. Yes. It's for all four of the phones he's just identified. That wasn't identified, and then 67. Yes, Ms. Pledger, and it's 470-839-1041.
not have an extraction. That's the one that's last season.
So so what Mr. Melvin has requested, he's tendering Exhibit 82, which is a cell phone extraction zip drive, for Exhibit 37, Exhibit 52, Exhibit 66, that didn't result, he couldn't get any data out of, and Exhibit 67. It's okay. Correct. And he testified there was nothing, he couldn't get anything out of it.
Correct.
Huey, Booker, and Pledger. Right. All right, Ms. Drake? All right. States Exhibit 82 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. Officer Der Enzo, when you finished the extraction report, did you turn it over to detectives in this case?
Yes.
That's all I have. I don't have any questions.
Mr. Clegg? Ms. Drake?
The device name and the owner name in and of itself may not be the same. Is that what I understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And the owner name is the person who purchased the phone or who the account is in?
Yes, correct. The device name is what you name it, so you can name it whatever you want. The owner name will reflect the owner.
Okay, and that's the person who purchased the phone.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be related to their iCloud account.
So, like in our family, I've got 3 kids, which we still pay the bills for, so they're adults. If we're all in the same plan and Scott Drake has purchased all 5 phones, they're all going to show Scott Drake as owner. But they may have a different device name.
Yes.
Okay, thank
Easy,
you.
yes.
And further?
Just to follow up, let's talk about states 67. Divine Pledger. Did the Cellbrite report indicate not the device name, but the owner name?
On 67. Okay. Okay. 1041. Yeah, do you want the owner name for that one?
Yes, please.
Okay, it says Jiah Pledger.
All right. And how about the next cell phone?
Working backwards?
Yeah, states 66. You could get extraction on it.
Correct.
He identified States Exhibit 52 with the number and the name David Booker.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
Talk to us.
okay. Anything, Ms. Drake? Okay, well, I just want to make sure after Mr. Melvin. Okay, all right, wait, may we release this witness?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, officer, and you are released. Thank you.
Your Honor, that takes us to the state's one.
Yeah.